It's time for another holiday doodle video, so let's jump right in and learn how to draw 10 easy Thanksgiving doodles. Let's start by drawing our turkey's head beginning at the bottom. Then as we get to the top, we can draw a heart-like shape to represent a couple feathers. The body of the turkey is an easy U shape. Then we'll add simple outstretched wings on each side like so. To complete the turkey's body, we'll add tiny little W's for the feet. Now, some simple features for our turkey's face. One of the easiest ways to make your doodle characters cute is to spread the eyes out. So let's draw them closer to the sides of the face. As you fill them in, be sure to leave a small circle in each of them empty. This will make them nice and shiny. For the beak, draw a small down-pointing triangle just below and between the eyes. Then we can draw the fleshy skin hanging off of the beak to the right side, a little bit like a teardrop. Now let's give our turkey a big, showy set of tail feathers. Draw a line out from one side, then curve it on the end. We'll keep making curves all the way up to the top and down the other side, before drawing a straight line back into the turkey on the right, just here at the bottom. Once that's done, we can separate our feathers by drawing lines from each inner point of these curves here, back towards the center of the turkey. Okay, let's add a pattern to the tips of the feathers using the curves on the ends as our guide. Do this by following the curves as you draw two more lines closer to these outer edges of each feather. To finish our turkey, let's use a thicker marker to trace along the outside of the entire turkey doodle. This added line weight gives our doodle some style and really helps to enclose its shape. We can also do this to the turkey's body to help it stand out and come forward. Pumpkins are another centerpiece to the fall season, and we can doodle one pretty easily. Let's start by drawing a tall oval shape. This shape will be our guide for the rest of the pumpkin. Now we'll add a partial oval to the side here by starting at the top of the oval and following its curve around to the bottom. Repeat this on the other side. Then we'll add two more slightly shorter curves the very same way to complete our basic pumpkin shape. To give this pumpkin some perspective, we can add small curves to the top here to show the pumpkin's ribs on the back. Then finally, the curly stem. If you want, you can draw a few marks on the stem for texture. And like our turkey, we'll finish this off by tracing around the entire doodle with our thicker marker. Maybe add a couple squiggly lines for some vines. Speaking of pumpkins, how about a few pie doodles? We'll start with a basic fruit pie by drawing the shape of a football. For the crust, it's a simple squiggly line all the way around the bottom edge here. We can then draw the pie pan by adding two lines below the crust, making sure to line it up with the left and right corners of the football shape. Then connect them both with a curved line at the bottom. We'll finish off this one by adding 3 vent holes using basic teardrops at the top. Next up is a pumpkin pie. This one will be a simpler oval, followed by the squiggly crust again. Now how about a dollop of whipped cream right in the center? The shape of this could be anything really. I'll add flow and shape lines with a few curve marks here. And then we can complete our pie by drawing the pie pan just as we did before on our fruit pie. This time though, let's add lines to give the pan wavy edges. To complete our pie doodles, we will draw a slice of pumpkin pie. Begin with a dollop of whipped cream. Then add a triangle around it with a curved edge at the top like this. Draw 2 lines down from the ends here and connect them with a straight line at the bottom. Finally, the crust. Okay, let's wrap up our pie doodles by adding the thicker outline. Let's keep the theme of food going and draw some ears of corn. Make a U with flared out ends. Then draw curves from each end back down into the center. These are the husks. The corn itself is an easy curve that sits on top of the husk, and the kernels can be drawn simply with a set of squiggly lines, like this. Let's go ahead and add 2 more ears of corn to the set. And finally, trace around the outer edge with a thicker marker. Maybe even trace the middle ear too, to help it pop forward. Okay, how about trying out a cornucopia? Start with a small curve, like a C, and draw a slightly larger C to the right of it. Then add a few more C's that gradually increase in size. Alright, at this point, we want to create the opening of our cornucopia by drawing a C curve a little bit farther to the right. On the left side of this C, we'll draw small connected curves up to the top. Now we can fill it with whatever we want, like a small pumpkin or squash, apples, grapes, and wheat. And I like to overlap the items and have them flow out a ways to make things look more interesting. Finally, a heavy outline to encapsulate our cornucopia doodle. Next, what's Thanksgiving without football, right? Draw your standard football shape, making sure it's large enough to add some details inside. On the ends, we'll draw in a couple sets of curved lines for the white stripes. For the correct perspective, we'll curve each set of lines towards the end of the football that they're closest to. So for the second set, the lines will curve toward the bottom left end here. Now, add a few marks for the seam down the center, but leave some space in the middle so you can add the laces at the end. Then finish with your heavy outline. A sunflower is a super simple doodle that adds happiness to any Thanksgiving set. So let's draw one by starting things off with a good-sized circle. The petals are just a series of curved V shapes, and I like to keep these short and stubby as I draw them all the way around the circle. We'll add small marks right in the center of each petal, where the petals meet the circle, and this will give them depth. We'll finish by cross-hatching inside the circle. Then trace around the edge with your thicker marker. In keeping with the true tradition of Thanksgiving, let's get back to the food and draw a ham. Draw an oval shape for the cutoff end of the ham hock, then draw the body of the ham starting at the top, going out and coming back into the bottom of the oval. Let's place a little circle in the cut end to represent the bone, and draw an actual bone coming out of the left end of the hock. We can then draw cut marks into the meat by following the curves of the ham. Adding light line marks to the inside of the oval, here on the cut side, can add some nice texture to the meat as well. Now how about an extremely simple leaf doodle? Start with a simple line for the stalk, and then 2 quick strokes to outline the body like this. Draw a few quick lines off of the middle stalk for the veins, and that's all there is to it. To end our set of Thanksgiving doodles, we'll draw a couple loaves of bread. Draw a partial oval with space left open at the top. Then connect the open ends with a squiggly line like this. Now draw a curved line at the top of each opening here to finish off the first loaf. The second loaf will sit underneath the first, and it'll just be a half oval with a couple small ovals inside. Add some steam lines above our bread before finishing everything off by tracing the bread shapes with our thicker marker. Well, if food is as big of a part of your Thanksgiving as it is mine, then these are sure to satisfy your craving for tasty holiday doodles. I hope you all have a very happy Thanksgiving, making great new memories with family and loved ones. I'm Artifacts, and I'll catch you next time.